I would like to welcome everybody here to Sharks, the venue for the Sharks 10-ball showdown. Kasama natin si Carlo Biado sa aking kanan, Vann Corteza sa aking kaliwa. Kumustahin muna natin yung kanilang kondisyon papasok dito sa kanilang race to 40. Ikaw muna, during the pandemic, nakapag-ensayo ka ba?
Paminsan-minsan sir, ayan ang ginagawa namin. So, wala naman kaming ibang gagawin kundi magbilyar lang. Kaya kailangan maglaro kami dahil kung hindi, may stress kami sa loob ng bahay. Kaya eto, patuloy pa rin ang laro ng bilyar.
Pero pag sinabi mo, tinignan mo yung kondisyon mo papasok dito sa laban mo kay Vann, kamusta naman?
Okay naman, nag-iensayo kami pareho para dito sa laban na to. Sana maganda yung magiging laban namin at good luck sa amin.
Tignan naman natin dito sa kabila. Vann, during the pandemic, nakapag-ensayo ka naman ng konti.
Katulad na sabi ni Carlo, ganun din. Paminsan-minsan, makapag-practice. Tapos yun na nga, kailangan nga nang mag-ensayo dahil nga mahirap na naka-estela sa loob ng bahay.
Hindi ka naman mabibigla dito sa gagawin nating race to 40.
Ito, malaking tulong to para sa amin. Sa amin dalawa dahil siyempre may ensayo kami lalo.
Ito na po, yung mga pros maglalaban na dito sa Sharks. Ito na po, mag-umpisa na po tayo. Race to 40 in 2 days. Anthony po, kasama si Aris. At ngayon, kasama natin si Referee Troy. Maglalaban si Vann at si Carlo.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sir Anthony.
At paalam din natin, syempre, doon sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam, dito sa Sharks, gabi-gabi, meron kayong mga amateur tournament. So, it's the very first time na magkakaroon kayo ng mga pros dito sa Sharks.
Invitational tournament to. Tuwing gabi, Sir Anthony, meron kami parang showdown na ring game format that involves 10 players with handicapping. So, kasama po ako doon. Like tonight, meron po kami. Ganon. So, right after this match, a number of players na mga kasali sa showdown will be arriving.
Para makapag-ensayo muna, tapos alas 9 sa gabi, no?
9 o'clock po usually start. Opo.
Gano'ng katagal na yung ginagawa ninyo tournament na to?
It was in the plan from Hadley and Boss Perry na mga October pa lang. So we started doing dry runs starting November. So parang sa ngayon it's around the third week already. And then we've already had 3 times champion from certain players. So 2 player na nag 3 times champion player back-to-back champion. So talagang the game is picking up. Talagang nakukuha na yung laro nila.
Yun ang maganda dahil kailangan talaga natin buhayin yung sport ng billiards. And right now, we're hoping that this could be the start.
Maraming salamat nga talaga dun sa efforts nila Boss Perry ni Hadley to set this up kasi kung hindi talagang mahirap din dahil due to the pandemic .
Well, the entire world of sports has really come to a halt. But then now, little by little, dahil sa mga efforts ng mga iba't ibang mga promoters, sabi mo nga, si Boss Perry, si Hadley, nandyan hopefully, better things to come pagkatapos ito. But we have a 2-day tournament. First day,
race to 20.
Race to 20 first. Opting to play safe right now. We have Carlo.
Maganda safe yun.
Yung kanya posisyon
Using the bridge, it's really hard na makontrol yung speed yun. Pero makikita mo, nakuha niya ng tama. Iba talagang pulso din nila for pros using the bridge.
At yung sinasabi nga nila, wala pa sila masyado ensayo niyan dahil pandemic, hindi tuloy-tuloy yung kanilang laro. But in the end, that looks like a legal shot.
A legal shot.
Problema lang dito mukhang mabibigyan ng malaking pagkakataon si Carlo.
We're playing with international rules. I'm not sure. Ano ba to? Call shot 10 ball ba to?
Call shot talaga sa lahat.
So in the event that Vann made a ball, yung 3 ball, hindi counted yun pag hindi niya kinol, di ba?
Tama yun.
Another safety.
In this case, trying to just have as much distance as he possibly can from the cue ball and the object ball, which right now is the 3.
Sinubukan niya ilagay yung cue ball sa likod. Pero nag-double hit.
Sa tingin ko, wala sa plano yun, pero
Wala
maganda
sa
yung
plano.
resulta.
Maganda yung resulta. Does happen.
That's a good shot there of
Mm.
what Carlo is facing at this point.
This is an easy hit.
Just has to go to one rail.
Sinubukan niyang ilagay sa likod ng 4 yung pamato.
Yun talaga yung balak niya.
Yun talaga balak niya.
Pero biglang sumilip at nakita natin ngayon, it's going to be a good chance for Vann to be able to start doing something offensively, but he goes
Mukhang
right back to safety play.
I'm not sure, parang jitters yan. Parang medyo tension pa siguro. Kasi it's the start of the match. It's the first rack.
Posible din yun. Pero alam mo, para sa mga to, minsan inisip mo talaga kung kinakabahan pa sila dahil
Sa bagay,
they've been there, they've been around the block, but again,
very seasoned.
tao rin pa rin sila. So, you just can't say.
Yun ang maganda safe dun.
At ngayon, masusubukan talaga si Vann dito. And that's one of the main reasons why when you have the opportunity, against somebody of the caliber of Carlo and even Vann, nakikita natin, dapat you have to go
All
on
out.
the offense as soon as possible. Kundi, katulad nito. You can get to it, but can you come up with a credible save? Let's see. Mukhang lilitaw ng konti yung
Mukhang litaw yan. And
tres.
now, I think there's an opportunity to run out.
Finally, after a lot of safeties, they can go offensive. At ngayon, medyo bukas na yung table.
I think the only problem would be getting position for the 7. Yung 7 natin dito, iba yung kulay. Not the conventional brown 7. It looks like a light blue color.
Marami rin kasi nagre-reklamo dati kasi yung 7, parang sa malayo, pag tingin mo, parang kala nila 5 eh.
Yes, yung parang Aramid brand na balls, the light brown 7.
Tama. Di ba kaya sabi ng mga iba, maghanap naman kayo ng ibang kulay. Ito, nakahanap na nga sila. Pero alam mo naman yung mga tao, parati may eco-comment. Ngayon, siguro, bago yung ilang comment, baka hindi makita yung
Hindi
7.
naman, nalilito naman.
Kasi kasing kulay ng table.
Can't please everybody talaga. Wow, he took it dun sa side kung saan pipinahan niya yung 7. Ganda speed nun
That was real pocket speed ang ginamit yun doon. Kasi kung napalakas ng konti, that would have stayed up. Well, he hit a few of those balls during practice. Kaya kitang-kita, gamay na naman yun. And it looks like they have had the chance to be able to use these tables earlier. Kaya nakuha na rin nila yung speed dito sa table.
I think si Carlo, he had the opportunity to play at least mga 1 hour and 30 minutes. So, si Liva naman, I think mga 30 minutes or so.
Actually, para sa mga to, mga 30 minutos, okay na eh. Makukuha na nila yung
Yung
speed ng
table.
So now just 2 more balls to handle, and that first rack will be going to Carlo Biado. Parang problema dun sa
First
10.
blood.
And yun nga, first blood. Pero matagal-tagal pa yung
Layo pa to.
ating pupuntahan. Race to 20 for day number 1 in this 2-day tournament, which is a race to 40. rack number 2. No balls down. A chance early dito para kay Vann. Kaso lang, medyo tago ng konti ang uno.
Mukhang pasok ang uno, Sir Anthony, pero yung dos, I think, that's where he's gonna be having a problem. Kasi walang butas para sa dos ngayon eh.
Will he be able to try to break it up? I think that was part of the plan.
I think it goes in this long corner. Yun lang yung kaisa-isang butas na pwede niyang pagpasukan. Nakuha niya yung prepare.
Bukas na ngayon yung table. The 3, the 4. Well, a good opportunity here for Vann to be able to tie things up.
I favor him to finish this. Anyway, while he's running the balls, gusto ko makita mamaya kung ano yung resulta ng susunod na break. Kasi at their level, with their skill level, kung paano nila ubusin, usually it all depends on how the balls will lay out after the break.
Kaya medyo surprising sa akin kanina, nakikita ko silang dalawa nag-ensayo. They weren't actually trying out the break para makita kung alin yung mga magagandang mga pwesto ng mga bola na pumapasok.
Yun nga eh.
Some players will be looking for that para at least makita nila kung anong angulo ang kanilang approach dun
Totoo.
sa darating na break. Pero kanina, puro pocketing ang ang ginagawa nila sa kanilang warm-up.
And also note, wala tayong ginagamit na magic rack. So, conventional triangle.
Para sa akin, mas gusto ko yun eh. Because that way, there's an element of iba-iba. Depende sa
Randomness.
depende doon sa sa stress na nilalagay, pressure na nilalagay ni Referee Troy dun
Yes.
sa mga bola. At nag-iiba-iba yun eh. But just like that, it is one apiece.
Interested to see yung break ni Vann.
Ngayon makikita natin. Ito na, rack number 3. We're tied, 1 rack apiece.
Looks like pipiliin niya yung side break.
Well, he might have to rethink that decision when he comes back to break.
More often when I watch professional matches from, let's say, YouTube, ang madalas nakikita kong break nila is center table break. But surprisingly, Vann chose to use the side break, 9-ball. Parang 9-ball break yun.
Pero maaga pa naman. So, katulad nga na sinasabi mo, baka gusto nila makita talaga kung ganong saan tumatakbo yung mga bola.
Susubukan nila, pakikiramdaman nila yung break nila,
Pero dun sa eksperimento na ginawa ni Vann, it's gonna cost him
One
rack
rack.
number 3. No trouble in sight here para sa third rack.
Siguro kailangan lang niya dito iwasan tamaan yung 8 mamaya once he shoots the 5. I think he's got position to avoid colliding the 8 once he shoots the 5.
Wala tayong ginagamit na shot clock dito.
Perfect.
Nakikita naman natin itong dalawang to eh. They're two of the fastest players that we have
Yes,
in the
and
circuit.
yung ganda ng yung ganda ng table, it really gives them the opportunity to run racks faster. Minsan kasi kapag yung table na napaglalaroan nila yung mga medyo mahihirap, magaganit, takes more time para i-plan out yung tira. Dito, parang automatic lang sa kanila.
So at this point, simple connecting of the dots here for Carlo Biado, and he will take a one rack advantage once again. Just two more balls to handle. And the 10 ball finds gravity, and we find Carlo Biado right now leading 2 racks to 1. We now enter rack number 4. Good control there of the cue ball. Ang problema, katulad nung huling break ni
Wala.
Carlo in rack number 2, wala nga pumasok.
I fail to see kung lumampas ba sa side pocket yung dalawang bola sa likod ng uno. Kasi yun yung pag lumalampas daw sa side pocket means he broke a little too hard. If he broke soft, hindi aabot. He's a little hampered here with the 6.
And as always, a lot of these top players almost always refuse to use the bridge. Gagawin nila lahat ng makakain nila para
Wag lang
abutin yung
magtiririt.
bola.
Pero mahirap kasi dito yung pag-abot sa kanya. But I think Vann is slightly taller. With his build is a little tall para abutin. Won't be surprised baka mamaya kombinahan niya yung 10 after the 5. He fouled.
You know, just like that, he's going to yield the table here to Carlo. First real mistake of this match coming from Corteza. This might be our first abbreviated rack. To lead 3-1. It's down.
I think si Van he came flat with the 3 ball or the 4 ball. So eventually he drew it. Hindi nga lang umangat sa banda.
Now have Carlo coming up to break, up 3-1 in this race to 20 for day number 1. It's a 2-day tournament, race to 40 ang kanilang hinahabol. Ito na makikita ulit natin.
He's breaking at the same spot.
Pero 2 straight times, he's come up dry, and it looks like he might come up. No, there's going to be one dropping. That'll keep him on the table with the 2 ball as the object ball next. Yung last 2 breaks niya, dry siya.
Dry, yes.
At least ngayon, pwede niya ipagpatuloy yung kanyang konting momentum na nakuha sa pagkakamali ni Vann.
Mukhang wala siyang offensive option dito eh. Ayun, so he chose to go for safe. Looks like an easy kick para kay Vann.
Para kay Vann, malaking bagay ito eh. Balik siya kaagad sa table dahil gusto niya makabawi dun sa masama niya na itinira. Ang problema, will that 3 come up as a blocking ball? No. So that's going to be the second mistake.
Yes, that's a poor effort for kicking at balls.
Pero yan siguro, epekto na rin yan ng pandemic dahil
Kulang,
talagang matagal talaga sila hindi nakapag-ensayo. Both these players still trying to shake off that rust. And that's why it might be important for these 2 players to try to get off to a big lead. Starting to quicken the pace itong si Carlo, trying to get into a groove. And in just a bit, he's going to move up 4-1 early on here.
Nothing that he can't handle. Medyo napalaki lang yung angulo niya dito sa 9. Pero now he's measuring his recovery shot. Simpleng-simple lang.
Unfortunately, having to use the bridge, pero ang problema nun, doesn't need too much control because this is the final ball. At ngayon, lalaki na naman yung lamang dito ni Carlo Biado. 4-1 na po.
Even if Carlos not getting an open shot every time after his break o kahit dry siya, Vann fails to capitalize on those opportunities. The more Carlo breaks, the more he'll get the feel of it. And dun madidihado si Vann. I changed sides, by the way.
Nang kaunti sa may gitna pa rin, pero tignan natin ko itong angulo na to eh. Makakatulong sa kanya, foul ka agad.
He made the ball, kaya lang he scratched as well.
Ito na, pagkakataon ni Vann makabawi ng konti. To be able to shake off those 2 mistakes he had.
Start making runouts. He's a little wrong-sided dito sa tres, pero nothing he can't handle with a little spin.
He's gonna try to approach the 4 from there.
Kita pala dun sa angulong yun. That's a wise choice. Instead of going forward.
Ang dami pa pwede mangyari pag pinaikot pa kasi niya.
He's poised to take this rack right now.
Getting another rack under his belt is just what the doctor ordered para kay Corteza dahil syempre medyo
Stop the bleeding.
malaki na talaga ang kanyang hinhabol 4-1. And Carlos, one of those players who likes to be able to enjoy the lead and they can actually finish off when they do have a lead. So hindi ka pwede magpalamang na maaga. Ito na, makakabawi na siya kagad. Get to within 2.
For the level of these guys, the break is everything. Or at least 50% of the opportunity is based on the break. It's now 4-2, right? Carlo leading 4-2.
Tignan natin kung makakabawi ng konti dito si Vann. And let's see where he opts to take the break from.
Yes, kanina sa ano siya side break siya Let's see if he changes his strategy.
Well, he was watching also the action of the balls dun sa pagka-break ni Carlo, pero he stays with the side. He wasn't happy with the action that the balls were getting dun sa pagka-break ni Carlo dun sa may gitna. Nice kiss there off that 5 at the end, just to keep him on the table. Yung huling sipa dun sa
9.
5 ball.
5 and the
9.
9.
Buti na lang.
Sa akin, from this layout, I think it's about getting from the 3 to the 4. Once he manufactures a preparation for the 3, going to the 4, that might spell the outcome of this rack.
Si Carlo medyo umiiling-iling doon sa kanyang upuan. Ito na binabanggit mo.
Ito na. I think he has the angle to get position for the 4, but it would be tight. Kasi in between the 6 and the 8, that's the window he has to be at.
Using that with pocket speed, hindi na niya masyadong pinagalaw yung bola.
Now he's poised to finish this rack. That was a really tight position.
Just 4 more balls and he's within 1 rack.
He's gonna use check side. He used, oh no, oh right. He used check side in order to prevent the cue ball from going around the table.
Dalawang bola lang problema niya. Pagkatapos niyan, lalapit na siya. He's going to be trailing by just 1 rack here. mabilis. Nakita naman natin being down 4-1, easily putting 2 racks together, and he's right back in it at 4-3.
Sir Anthony, the side break doesn't really offer that much spread amongst the balls when they use it. Just like the last track, medyo dikit-dikit yung mga bola eh. But he's using it. Tingin ko sa mga money games nila dito sa Pilipinas, he often uses this kind of break. He's comfortable with it.
Well, no lucky kiss that time. At mapapaupo na naman siya. Babalik na naman sa table si Carlo with a tough shot on that one.
He's calling it on the side. This is a double purpose shot.
Hindi na magbawal na tumawag ng pocket.
No.
So, just call it anyway.
Just call
Pag
it
bumagsak
anyway.
ka, at least you still stay on the table.
He changed the layout, by the way. He moved the 5 beside the 7. So medyo nawala ng butas yung 5.
Well, at 9 is a possibility.
Yeah, I think he got lucky. Naitago pa niya. But there's a one real
Tama. Escape siya dito.
escape.
And that's not a difficult shot. Even, especially for guys at this level.
Yes, but the 3 was there. It prevented the cue ball from going down table. Another safety, I guess. Ayun, he's measuring behind the 4.
That turns out well para sa kanya. Dahil nandun yung 8 sa may gitna. Direct approach ang kanyang ginawa, and
Direct
it's gonna be a foul.
Well, he used bottom spin in order to shorten the rebound angle, and he made the ball. Unfortunately, he got it too full. Kaya kinain ng malas lang.
Now a chance here for Carlo to be able to open up a lead once again. His lead, which stood at 2, has been whittled down. Actually, it was at 3. Whittled down to 1.
I figure Carlo would put more focus on his break the next time. But wait, okay, he got hooked. He got hooked by the 7.
I thought he had more than enough for that.
Well, that was a
Pero
big
mas
window.
maganda angulo to.
Malaking window. It between the 9 and the 7, he had a big window, but so that's a missed opportunity. Looking a little frustrated from Carlo.
That should have been a nice run out para sa kanya.
That was a better choice of safety shots instead of just putting cue ball behind the 9. Madaling tamaan kasi kapag the pro players, they choose to leave when they play safeties, they choose safeties that doesn't leave a easy kick shot. For the first time in the match, we have a jump shot.
He brought out the short cue. Ito lang ang problema. Pag ganun kagaling yung kalaban kahit anong safety yung isipin mo, nakakahanap pa rin sila ng paraan.
Medyo naiwan niya masyado malapit sa butas yung 5. Was easy for the jump.
Now we go right back to safety play.
He must be thinking, I know hindi na niya iniisip, pero sometimes you tend to think about the error you made earlier. Tapos na sana.
Tama-sama. He could have actually gone offensive there if he felt comfortable. Pero pag hindi nga komportable.
Okay, it's across corner bank. Straight bank, rather. Straight bank. Oh, unfortunate.
It's gonna be a foul. Hindi rin naman pumasok yung bola. It's gonna be ball in hand right now for Vann. Ngayon, tiyak, mas komportable na siya. He might have been staring at a 2-rack deficit, pero ngayon mukhang tatabla na siya. Iba yung naging balikan nila dito sa rack na to. But in the end, it's gonna go to Corteza. At ngayon, tabla na tayo at 4 racks apiece.
Ito yung gusto kong pinapanood, yung break eh. Because usually it's all about the break.
Balik na naman siya doon. Sa dati niyang pwesto, hindi talaga siya nag-iiba.
He went a little deeper. Lumapit siya sa sentro. If you notice, this bridge hand was already on the table instead on the rail. Still nothing.
Talagang pinagpipilitan talaga niya na doon yung
Doon
kanyang
talaga yung
pwesto.
break niya.
Ayaw talaga niya dalhin sa gitna. But he's not left anything here, so we're gonna have our first push of the match. And that is a tempting shot, but automatically binalik na sa kanya ni Corteza. Sabi niya, sige.
He left half a ball, just half a ball. I think he's gonna play a safety behind the 7 and the 5. Kung kita na yung isang side na yan. Okay, he had a full ball hit. From this angle, hindi talaga nakikita lahat.
We'll see when we get to the top angle.
Okay, he managed to play a safe.
Tries to massay it. Wala rin siyang tinawag na butas doon. So, was purely looking for safety there. Tignan natin kung ano magagawa dito ni Carlo.
I think he figures to make the one. The cue ball will go wild.
Kagandahan niya ni si...
Okay,
Nasa-
pinigilan niya. Wow.
Malapit naman yung 2 dun sa butas.
He used check side pala. Pinatay pala niya yung bola. Seems to be no more problem balls for this rack.
Ayaw talaga niya magpalamang dito kay Corteza. He has been leading all throughout. At most, it's been tied. Well, barring any miscues, lalamang na naman si Biado rito.
I figure he will change his break. Or is he gonna put more focus on hitting the one ball more solid?
Well, during his last break, nakita mo talagang hindi na niya tinira ng ganong kalakas. He tried to put a little, took some off it.
Pero nag-scratch yata eh.
Yun nga eh.
Mm.
Kaya ngayon tignan natin kung hihinaan pa niya. Lalakasan niya. Iibahin niya yung kanyang angulo. But at the moment, it is 5-4 Biado with a 1 rack advantage here. This is a race to 20 for day number 1. It's going to be a dry break once again.
Yes.
Good spread of the balls, though.
He almost scratched as well. He just got there. Can't see any problems here except that he just has to get from the 5 to the 6. Tapos nun, parang tapos na pagkatapos.
Magagandang pagkakataon sana to para sa mga amateur players sa gabi na kung dumating lang sana sila na mas maaga. Makapanood pa sila nitong laban.
Oh, pero maybe a few of them kasi syempre we are also practicing social distancing here
Yun din.
in the hall, the club that we're at. But this being recorded, it will definitely be played back and mapapanood din to ng mga Filipino amateur players.
Tiyak, marami rin sila matututunan. Not to mention the fact that it'll be nice to watch them live. And in person, kung po pwede. Pero yun nga talaga, naapektuhan talaga tayo lahat ng pandemic. Little by little.
We'll
Hopefully,
get back.
babalik na.
Actually, bumabalik na. Cases are going down. Tsaka, masabi ko lang din, Sir Anthony, malaking bagay din yung merong commentary, diba, from knowledgeable billiard people.
Ito na, tatabla na naman. Tabla tayo at 5. Remember, for day number 1, we are looking towards getting to 20. And then tatapusin natin itong Sharks 10-ball showdown on day number 2. Babalik na naman ba siya dun sa kanyang kaliwang posisyon? Dun pa rin.
Now he's back at the rail. Kanina medyo inangat niya sa gitna eh. Wow, he really broke hard that time.
He gave, that one is all, but his all will not be enough here. It's going to be dry once again, and a direct shot at that one here for Biado. Corteza has not yet led in this match. He has been playing catch-up all throughout. And it doesn't look like Biado's going to give him an opportunity here, rack number 11. Unless may makita tayong pagkakamali na naman. But the two biggest mistakes so far in this match have come
From the break.
Vann Corteza.
Oh, yes. Yung scratch niya.
Kasi sa break, minsan talaga hindi mo naman talaga maiiwasan.
It's not as controllable as the other shots.
And unlike in 9-ball, wherein, if you see the wing ball going down at a certain pocket all the time, you can actually just break and run out. Dito talagang kailangan hampasin mo. At makahanap ka talaga ng tamang pwesto para doon sa galaw ng mga bola.
Galing ng control niya din. He made it come back just after the side, before the 9. Now, it just depends on where he chooses to take the 7. Wala kasing butas sa dalawang corner eh. Oh, so he's taking it on the side.
He's going to opt to take that 8 in that same side pocket. Nothing doing here for Corteza. As Biado looks poised to take a 1-rack lead once again.
He's all warmed up now.
Kita mo, mas bilis yung ikot niya ng pag-ikot sa table. At
Oo.
lamang na naman siya, 6'5" dito. Biado na with the break. Mas controlled yung kanyang break doon. The 5 is gonna drop. But can he see enough of that 1? He just might have.
He almost made the 10 ball as well, but in call shot 10 ball, the 10 ball is respotted, right?
Babalik na naman yun.
Babalik
Tama.
lang.
Which I've never actually liked. Because, pag nanood ka ng 9-ball, kahit sa World Championships, nakikita mo, if you have a golden break, it's something that It can really
Happens.
change the momentum at saka paminsan-minsan lang naman nangyayari. So dapat para sa akin actually,
And-
dapat bigay mo na. But again, sabi nga nila is 10 ball is supposed to be a game for the men. Kaya sabi nila talagang you have to be able to work for every rack. Hindi pwede yung isang tira, pasok ka agad. Sa'yo na kaagad yung rack eh.
Totoo. Parang it takes away the recreative part of the billiard game. Nagiging masyadong professional. Unlike 9-ball with golden breaks, masaya eh.
But they have to realize this is also entertainment. So, I mean, people like golden breaks. It
They
doesn't
like
always
golden
happen.
breaks, yes.
But again, yung mga gumagawa kasi ng patakaran, minsan masyadong stricto. But it really just takes away from the entertainment value at the end of the day.
Sir Anthony, the recent US Open 9-ball championships where they use magic racks and they actually created the rule 9-ball on the spot and 3 balls on the head string, past the head string. Parang too many rules being implemented. In a way, parang they're trying to control it that much just to limit the chances of the player.
I see where they're coming from dahil kasi alam mo yung mga players natin ngayon, alam mo, sobrang gagaling na.
Gumaling nga po lahat.
Hindi katulad ng mga players nung dati. I mean, not to say that they cannot compete in this day and age, but then, I guess they would also have to evolve if they were born in this era. Pero ngayon talagang sobrang galing na ng mga players. So, the rules makers are just looking for different kinks here and there para mapahirapan palalo yung mga players. But in the end, alam mo, nakikita mo, nakakapag-adjust sila.
Yes.
Sometimes at the start of the tournament or when that was first implemented, medyo nanibago yung mga players eh. Pero pagkatapos nun,
Eventually,
nasanay na rin sila eh.
they also figured out a way to manipulate and break to their advantage.
Ganun kagaling talaga yung mga players natin ngayon. We'll have to say this could be the golden era of pool really because the skill level of all these players sobra na eh.
Parang inflation
Sobrang
lang
taas.
eh. Nagkaroon ng dumami na yung magagaling na player. And due to social media, wala na masyadong nakakapangharang kasi nakikilala na lahat ng tao eh. Unlike before, you couldn't tell who was the hustler, who was being hustled.
Correct. Yeah, I remember those days during the time na hindi masyadong kilala si Efren Batares. Talagang he could really shark a few players here and there. But not anymore, not in this day and age. And none of these players can anymore. Iba na yung panahon ngayon.
I think we're all at 6 right now.
Yes,
right?
we are.
Mm.
Will this be the advantage now for Livan to finally take the lead? Ito na.
Oh, see? He
Ginitna
changes
na
break.
niya.
Ayan, ginitna na. Interesting.
Didn't put too much in that one. The 9 is going to go down. He will stay on the table. But it looks like that 3 is going to come in the way of that 1.
Well, at least the break is kind of consistent. Hindi talaga lang siya nagbibigay palagi.
Para kay Livan, number 1, sabi niya, at least I'm still on the table. I can
Yes.
either opt to come up with a safety here or even a push. Pero nasa akin ang desisyon eh. Hindi ako biglang upo pagkatapos ng break at si Biado naman ang
He's changing the
pupunta sa
position.
table. He's gonna now opt for a push.
Well, I think he did that in order to avoid the combination with the 2, 6, and 8. Kanina kasi parang kasado, pasok yung 8. Eh. So with this, it changes things.
Looks like he will be able to give up that 1. Pero still a lot of problems in the offing. Hindi naman nagustuhan ni Biado yun. So sabi niya, sige, come up with just a counter safety shot. But I think that 1 will go. Pero ang problema nga, as you said, is that big jumble up there
Yes, now he has
with the 2.
tied up 2 clusters. So merong 4 and 5 and the 2, 6, 8. Mas matagal ng konti pag ganito. This kind of layout, this is when I fancy Efren Reyes to excel, actually.
Well, si Efren can see balls like none of these players.
I,
Yun
I
lang talaga yun. Yun lang talaga yung advantage niya eh.
yes. Parang ano sa akin, I always thought of it as if he had a third eye in playing pool.
Well, that cluster has now been broken, but still no direct shot at the one. But I think he can see the one now.
That was an error. Unforced error on the part of Biado. Na misjudge niya yung, yung tira niya na yun. Could have been easily avoided, pero
Does he like that combo? Sabi niya medyo malayo-layo ng konti yan. Well, there's no shot clock, so he can actually look at various options if he wants. Pero sabi niya,
shot clock changes things.
yes, it does.
We play with the shot clock during our 9-ball showdown here, 9 p.m. For us amateurs, having a shot clock, it's really difficult. Parang nasa spotlight ka. You need to perform right away.
Pero kasi binabagit mo sa akin, marami kasi kayong mga laro sa isang gabi. So, without the shot clock, baka 1 oras na kayo matapos.
Totoo.
And it gives you guys also an extra bit of pressure para you see exactly how the pros are faced with during World Championships. Not the best of kisses. I don't think he wanted that one.
That was a good effort. Kaya lang, hindi lang maganda yung, hindi pumabor yung kiss niya, yung break niya sa 4 and 5. Okay, so it's a 2-rail. Okay, parang Z-shot. Okay, that was good effort. Kasama na yung safety.
All these pros always have a two-way shot, but that was really a safety all the way. Kung sakali makachamba at pumasok, bakit hindi? Pero more than anything else, he was just wanted to make sure that's behind that 5. One rail escape here. Well handled at napatawa na lang si Corteza dun. Sabi niya, hats off to you. Wala na akong magagawa at pumalakpak pa nga siya.
And he called that ball. Ibig sabihin talagang he intended that. Sa bagay, wala namang ibang pwedeng mangyari.
He was pulling out all the stops in that particular shot. If he missed it, then he gives up that rack to Vann.
He could have also fouled, hitting the 7, pero
Well, it turns out in his favor. He wants it to slow down a little bit. Just when Vann thought he might have had the chance to pull ahead for the very first time.
even in our amateur games, I really despise giving safeties or making safeties kasi pag pinababalik mo sila, you're giving them a chance to hit a ball. Anything can happen.
And at this level, if you give it back to your opponent, it could be lights out, and it's lights out for him here in this rack. At lamang na naman ng isa. Itong si Biado, lamang po siya. 7-6. Still nothing there on the break, and unfortunately for Biado, wanted to get some momentum from that win in the last rack. Not gonna happen here.
You know, sometimes the break is fickle. Bibigay, minsan hindi nagbibigay. Pero dito sa nangyayari sa 10 ball natin, it's consistently not
Hirap.
giving.
Pinahihirapan talaga
Oo,
sila.
pinahirapan sila. At this rate, the score will be really close.
That's a good job there to hide that behind that 5. Just opting to call the 2 in the corner just in case.
This is a big ball to hit kasi nasa banda. Yun nga lang. I think the key to this rack is the preparation of the tree, and he got it relatively with some ease. Wala kasi kaninang butas yung tres doon sa ilang mga corner pocket, so he chose to draw back the cue ball and take the tree on the side. With this, I think looks as if Van is poised to take this rack. Wala namang kaproblema na. Just being in the right side of balls, getting himself angles should do the job for this rack.
At kung mangyari nga yun, makikita natin, tatabla na naman sila.
Tabla na naman, and then another break. Sir Anthony, by the way, there are tournaments. How do you feel about rack your own tournaments?
That's okay also. In fact, they do that a lot in the US. Pero para sa akin, I mean, why not? I mean, it gives the players an opportunity to be able to actually do it themselves.
Doesn't it affect the integrity of the rack,
To a
of
certain
the
extent,
game itself?
yeah, but you know, you hope that this is a gentleman's game. So you're hoping that, you know, your opponent racks it to the best of his ability, di ba? Pero syempre nga, sabi nga nila, may konting gamesmanship minsan, paminsan-minsan. Baka you might put a little pressure on this side, and, or baka whenever you rack, iba-ibahin mo. So,
Parang yun yung nagiging issue yata. I think I heard one issue when I was watching a YouTube video that was between Shane Van Boning and Jason Shaw. They were having a discussion about the way Shane was racking. Was a little, I think Jason was calling it a rigged rack. So,
that'll definitely come up. That's why a lot of times, you know, you just want a third person that might have gone down. Sinuwerte siya rin ng konti, but the one stays up.
for some reason, ayaw niya mahulog. Parang pasok na yun
Tama yung sinabi mo. Pero going
Mm.
back to the discussion that you were saying, you know, again, that's the whole point of why you have, you know, a third person doing it. But, you know, I really don't see any reason why it can't be done by the players themselves. Pero yun nga, yung sabi nga na may konting dugas supposedly.
Mm.
But if you play it straight, which you should, di ba, they're saying, but sometimes players will try to win at all costs. But knowing Shane Van Boning, I mean, I've had the chance to interview him more than a couple of times, and he doesn't look like the type Pero again, hindi mo rin masabi pag nalagay ka sa alanganin, eh, baka
Totoo.
gamitin mo lahat ng pwede mong gamitin para sa advantage mo,
Mm.
eh.
And you know, one of our pro players, Mario Tolentino, he's from Star Paper. He used to tell me that racking is also a skill. So if you know how to rack, then that would start off the 10 ball rack or the game to your advantage. So it pays to know how to rack.
That's a good point also. Kaya para sabi nila, para talaga mabawasan na lang yung reklamo, mabawasan yung mga hirit. That's why you get a referee to
A
just do
referee
it.
to rack it.
But again, you're bringing in the entire integrity question of your opponent. So, you don't want it to happen. Pero a lot of times, especially if your opponent may be looking for excuses, could be a sore loser, hindi mo masabi, eh.
Mm.
Pero baka na lang talaga gagawa siya ng issue kahit walang issue, di ba? And in the midst of our conversation, we can see here Biado quickly going through this rack. As he sees, he might just take another advantage here, and it looks likely. Very likely.
He's upped his pace. It's a sign of comfort on his side.
Stretching out just a little bit, but he should be able to handle this one. And does. At lamang na naman siya. 8-7 dito. As we get to almost the halfway point of day number 1.
Carlo breaking from the last side he broke. That was the right side sa center table. Still dry.
Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin silang solusyon.
And ano mo ba?
Pagkatapos ba ng laro to, hindi sila pwede mag-ensayo. Baka kasi yung amateur tournament mag-umpisa na, no? But then tama yung sabi mo, kung hindi sila makakapag-ensayo mamaya, pagkatapos
Mamaya,
nito, tiyak, aagahan nila yung
agahan
bukas.
nila yan bukas to practice the break. Kasi mamaya darating na rin yung ibang players who's supposed to practice as well.
But again, just like I told you, talagang nabigla ako, eh. The whole time we were here, waiting for the actual match to set up, they were practicing, pero they were not practicing the break. They were practicing the pocketing of the balls. They were looking at the speed. They were looking at the angles and all of that, pero hindi nila tinignan talaga yung break. And I think ngayon medyo nagsisisi sila ng konti ron. Well, that one rack advantage just might disappear in a bit.
I think he's gonna draw to the rail, take the 5 on the side. Ayun na nga. Nice speed. A number of my friends would say I'm over technical when it comes to the break. Lagi ko sinasabi, but the break starts off the game. With a good break, pwede ka mag-run out palagi.
Tama yun. That will really dictate what will happen and what could occur in a particular rack. So yung tail mo na lang problema niya. Pagkatapos niyan, tatabla na naman siya. Napakabilis ng mga pangyayari dito sa Sharks at nakikita natin this 10-ball showdown is proving to be a real battle of wits.
Okay, so let's see how Van deals with this break. We just might see our first break and run out, Sir Anthony. So for the first time, the 1 went and we have a shot on the 2.
Now a little bump here for Vann.
Yun na lang yung problema ron. If he got the preparation for the 4, I favored him to run out this rack.
Well, he tried to break up that cluster there to give him a better shot at it, but unfortunately it wasn't there. So opting to go to the safety end, we've got another long, drawn-out rack here.
I think he's gonna hit this hard to create the distance, but almost made it. He sold out.
Well, not exactly the run out you were mentioning, but nonetheless, this should be advantage Corteza. Can he finally taste his first lead here in this 2-day race to 40? Ooh, that's his third error.
Yes, and just when you thought he'd run out and get his lead.
Parang nililista ko na sa kanya itong rack na to.
Well, that looks like he lost a little focus and was focusing on the next shot.
Well, a bit of luck here on the side of Corteza as he gets right back onto the table when he shouldn't be.
Yes, he jaw hooked. I think he jaw hooked the cue ball. Kaya Carlo went for the kick shot.
So yung isang pagkakamali niya, not having to pay for it, medyo sinuwerte pa nga siya dun. Can he finally get his first taste of the lead?
I think this is a little strong, pero nothing that he can't shoot.
So now, it took quite a while. But finally Cortez is going to have his first taste of the lead here.
Another dry break. Muntik na niya makuha yung one on the same spot where he made it last time.
That one has been really tricky there in that corner. But at this point, it decides to stay up, and a chance here for Biado to come right back and hopefully tie up the proceedings once again.
I think he was going for the he was planning to take the two on the side. Kaya lang kinapos na siya ng pace. Don't know, but I think at this point he'll play a combination
Well, I don't think he has got a choice.
or a safe.
It's either that or, as you said, the safe, and he goes for the second option.
You know, this being pro players, the pro players, they're good at hitting this ball, but wow, ang bilis niyang tinira yun.
Well, there is no open pocket anyhow on that counter safety shot.
Just got there.
Parang kita yung dos eh. Kitang-kita nga siya. Would have been better to look at it from the top angle, but even the top angle sometimes plays tricks on our eyes. But there you can see he had the full two.
Mukhang lalamang siya ng dalawa dito.
Well, nagustuhan niya na lamang siya. Papalaking pa niya lalo yung kanyang lamang ngayon.
So kahit hindi na shoot yung one ball sa break, even if he made no balls on the break, he's lucky enough to get a chance to go two ahead.
That's the operative word. He's been lucky. Because he's had the two major mistakes here so far this afternoon. This online laban with Biado, but he has not had to really pay for them.
Yes, and Biado is yet to miss a ball.
Biado has been clean, but all of a sudden, nakita natin, hindi siya sineswerte.
And we have Vann Corteza with his biggest lead for the day. He has score is 8-6. Vann with the lead. This is a race to 20 for this day, and the match will be concluded tomorrow. Same time, 3 p.m. It's a race to 40. Okay, so the break has been consistent so far. Nothing. So with Carlo figures to get the right angles for each shot, and he should be safe for this rack para mabawasan yung lamang ni mapigilan niya yung paglamang ng malaki ni Vann Corteza. Can't see any problems here.
Ito ngayon ang kailangan ni Carlo para medyo makabawi naman siya ng konti. Sabi niya, hindi naman ako nagkakamali. Minamalas lang ako ng konti. Lamang pa yung kalabang ko. Well, this will keep him within striking distance.
He's a little short. He's very short, pero para sa kabilang corner, the long sa kabilang side, that should help. That should solve his problem.
Just 3 more balls now. Now 2. And he's going to draw to within 1. Just like that, Biado is now within 1.
This is turning out to be a very tight match kasi yung break hindi nagbibigay eh.
At this stage, Vann Corteza enjoys a 1-rack advantage as we near the midpoint ng ating day number 1. This is a race to 40, race number 24, our very first day. And just like what we've seen essentially the whole afternoon, it's going to be another dry break. But no shot at the 1 here, so let's see what Corteza opts to do. He will push.
I think this is one of the reasons why pro players who play matches prefer the 10 ball game over 9 ball. Kasi nandoon yung element of skill that you need to develop, especially with the break.
That's very true. A lot of times, you could actually see so many break and runouts. Even in the World Championships, yung sa taas talaga ng level nung laro ng mga players. But 10 ball is a different animal.
Even with all the technology and new equipment, the carbon shafts still couldn't make a ball on the break.
Made a good long shot on that 1. And now he's going to be challenged once again here with the 2. Starting to feel comfortable now.
Here's yet another difficult shot. He
Looked
barely
like that
missed
was
it.
too thin.
That was too thin, but
But in the end,
mm,
at least bumagsak. Nice pocket speed once again being used.
the whole size of the pocket. Mm.
Talagang nasubukan siya rito para lang tumabla. But most of the difficult work has been done here in this rack. It wasn't an easy one.
And I think this is the first break and run out with experience for the afternoon.
Diyan naka-dry break siya na.
Oo nga. This
Diba?
this came from a push.
Tama.
Oo nga. Mali pala ako dun.
Pero halos lang run out kung tutusin mo. He went from the 1 all the way to
Yes.
the 10 here. And he was really facing so many tough challenges. So far has been up to the task. Just to draw even once again. Well, from the beginning, inasahan naman natin na talagang dikitan yung laban at yun na nga yung nangyayari rito. And we are tied at 10.
He's using the side break right now.
First time that he's moved over to the side, he has been at the middlemost of this match and still another dry break. Kita natin talagang naghahanap sila ng magandang pwesto. Wala pa rin silang mahanap.
Oh, that was unintended. He hit the 9 on the way. I mean, the one ball is the 9 going to the pocket.
Gonna take that 4 ball in that same pocket.
Well, this looks like a break and run out, but it's just that it's the opponent's break.
Yan ang
And
nangyari doon sa kabila.
oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yun lang.
Well, we were talking about a run out because it did look like it was going to be a run out, but another mistake here for Corteza, the third already in this match.
Well, in terms of statistics, with the amount of mistakes he's made, he's still really lucky.
Isipin mo, tabla pa rin tayo.
Tabla pa rin, oo.
Normally, if you make 3 big mistakes, at this level, lamang na ng mga 5-6 yung iyong kalaban.
Totoo.
Pero ang problema, hindi naman sineswerte ito si Carlo. Luck has been on the side of Livan despite those 3 major errors.
You know, in international professional matches, they have a statistic like a player's game rating. So maybe at this point he's already just around 800. I forgot what rating, what AccuStat rating, something like that. One thing about those ratings, it just doesn't show the actual outcome of the match.
Right now, you would think that Biado should be up by a lot, but he's only up 1 rack. 11-10 is our tally. After that break, finally, may bumagsak na para kay Biado. But he's gonna bring out the short cue. He's gonna go airborne here with this shot. Only once before we've seen that in this match. It was from Corteza and he knocked down a ball in the side pocket.
It's easy to make this ball. It's near the pocket. He obviously went for the preparation as well.
Baka ito na hinahanap mo, yung
Yung unang break and
run out.
run out. Oh.
Again, it doesn't come easy having to start out with that jump shot.
Pero I noticed the 5 is, I think the 7 is blocking the path of the 5 to the pocket.
Having to maneuver that cue ball around all those balls proves to be successful. Now we'll have to use the bridge here.
He's planning to take the 5 on the long corner. Hopefully he avoids the 9.
Let's see how he does here, but we might not be seeing our first break and run out. Parang parati naudlot ah.
Naudot nga eh.
Ito na, pagkakataon na naman ni Livan. Isipin mo naman yung swerte talaga na dumarating sa kanya. Wala pang pagkakamali si Carlo dito. Though that one actually might go down as a small, slight error.
Mahirap
Yung
naman.
kanyang preparasyon eh. Pero
mahirap
Tama,
naman yun.
Mahirap naman yung
Mm.
preparasyon dun. It wasn't a major mistake, similar to what we've seen here from Livan, who is trailing by 1. In this game, you need to be lucky as well. And Livan is proving it at this stage. And we're going to be tied once again, this time at 11.
Well, that time, Sir Anthony, kinuha niya sa center yung break. He made the 1.
Finally, sabi niya.
Mm.
So he might opt to stay there in that middle position. Also with that same pace he took.
Oh no.
Wow.
Breaking from the side, it just doesn't offer the same amount of transfer of energy as opposed to breaking in the center. Pang iba yung kalat at yung power na nabibigay ng center ball break eh. Center table break.
Well, what really surprising me is another mistake here from Corteza.
Oo nga. Walang hawig.
That is very surprising. Pang-apat ng pagkakamali niya yun. Biado's not happy. Napalakas yun. Pagkatama pala niya, nakita mo talagang nag-alangan na sa magiging pwesto niya. None of these players look comfortable. All of a sudden. Is he going to be able to hide it? Yes, he does. That's well played.
Ang ganda ng kuha niya ng speed na yun. Even if he didn't get the cover over the 7, ang ganda ng speed na tinira niyang yun. Just enough to make the cue ball go down and go between the 5 and the 7.
A lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to take control of the speed of two balls.
Madalas kasi they're all hang up with pocketing.
Yes.
Kasi yun yung flashy side ng billiards making balls.
But this is what separates the men from the boys. Safety play, and you can see the way he controlled both those cue balls. It's not going to be ball in hand para kay Biado. Well, we expected a tight match between these two legends of the sport, and it's proving to be just that. A 1-point lead enjoyed here by Biado at 12-11. No controversy so far. Walang masyadong problema rito para kay Referee Troy. Both these players have opted to go back to the center. It's gonna be another dry break. Bihira tayo makakita ng bolang pumapasok talaga sa break. Pag may pumasok, scratch pa.
Oo nga
Boy, another mistake here. That's going to be the fifth mistake here coming from Levan. Surprising. Not a difficult shot there on the one.
Typically, yung side ball ang pumapasok pagka sa break ng 10 ball eh. But I haven't seen one go to the side right now. Kanina pa.
Well, even after that mistake once again from Levan, he comes right back onto the table with chances of running this one out and tying things up again. Kahit na 5 na ang kanyang pagkakamali rito sa labang ito.
He looks playing solid, kaya lang minsan meron lang mga errors.
Well, he's also quickened up the pace here. A lot of times when these guys second guess themselves in difficult situations, doon sila nagkakamali. A lot of times, the first thing that comes to mind, or the first instinct you have, you just go with it.
And I think sa level naman nila, just rely on your skill.
Kita mo dyan, just going through the motions and we're going to be tied once again. Tabla na naman tayo sa 12.
Let's look at the 8 and the 9 once Levan makes this break.
The one hardly moved. Here's the one.
Yes, it just
It
went in.
drops.
Normally, the 8 and the 9, they usually go towards the side pocket. Para nakita mo yung 8 hindi gumalaw. Diba? Only the 9 actually went off the rack.
He's still in good shape for that 3.
Pinagdadasal kong break run out to.
Ito na naman tayo.
Mhm.
Tignan natin. Well, at this stage, without another mistake here from Levan, this should be our very first break and run out. But remember, Levan has already had 5 errors here in this match. I don't see it coming here though. Baka magkatotoo na. And one of the few times Levan has held control of the lead. Just 3 more balls to take care of.
I'm feeling excited.
Ito na.
Ito na.
Mangyayari na. Yung hinahanap mo.
Parang malakas, Sir Anthony.
Papahirapan pa niya sarili niya.
Binigyan ng konting excitement.
And it's a little closer to the rail than he would want. But nonetheless, he should be able to take care of this. And does. It's 13-12. Can you imagine? It took us 25 racks before we had our first break and run out. Talaga hindi nagkakalayo yung isa dun sa isa.
Let's look at the break again.
Good control there of the cue ball. Keeps it in the middle, but it's gonna be another dry break. Wala tayong break and run out dito.
Wala. If there's one thing consistent today, it's a dry break.
Which is good for the televiewers because you get to see a whole lot more skill coming from these players. But at the same time, para sa players, they just can't seem to get into a rhythm.
Yun nga. If you were going to make a bet, I would bet on a dry break all the time.
Parang ganun. Talaga yun ang llamado sa araw.
Llamado sa araw na to.
It has not been a problem here for Carlo Biado in this rack. Naghahanap na naman siya isa pang rack sa kanyang pangalan para maitabla niya ang labang ito. Even Carlos picked up his pace here a little bit.
He purposefully hit the 8.
Talagang smooth sailing na ngayon para dito kay Biado. Tatabla na naman tayo.
No question about how they play. It's just about the break.
We're tied at 13.
After barely 2 hours, still no distinct advantage over one player over the other.
And looking at the way referee Troy racks that, nakita mo he's put even pressure doon sa kanyang pagkalagay. Tignan natin. Parang hindi naman nag-iiba yung kanyang ginagawa sa rack. Tignan natin. Look at the result. The 10 very close.
Yes.
But it's gonna be a dry break once again. This is another long shot, but this one an easier one than he had there. 1-1.
I figure he'll break the 5 and the 8 using the 4. Isang tampal na tira mula dyan papunta sa 5. Yun na lang yung problem ball doon eh. Was he going after the 4-10 combination?
So right now,
He has no
that's
choice.
not in the cards.
And
Hindi yata yun ang inisip niya. Pero,
yun, he called the 10.
yun na. Wala na talaga siyang choice at this stage. All you gotta do is just make contact anywhere near that 10. Pero, yung 4 ang pumasok.
So, dahil call shot,
He's
it's
gonna
still
yield
po.
the table. Exactly.
Yeah, option ni Carlo Biado. Pero look at this. No easy offensive shot on the 5. So, tinatawag yata ni Carlo yung 10.
Well, Ivan actually looked over at referee Troy and said, yung 10 ba yung kinol ko? Yeah, yun nga yung kinol niya. We heard it from up here.
Mm. Levan seems to be looking for a safety here behind the 9. Malayo-layo pero I think that's the only thing he can actually think of. It goes. I think it goes. Mukhang pasok pero mukhang kita lang. Kasi
Parang
kung
dito sa angle to, parang kita lang eh.
Kita lang kasi kung pasok to, tinira na niya siguro 'yan.
Yeah, from the top angle, it might even look like a full eclipse. Not the best of safeties there.
Yes, good effort pero medyo yung contra pectus was just a little too much para maitago niya sa 6.
Yung problema kasi niya, pag sa level na ganito talagang pwede kang balikan ng mas matinding safety pag ganyan ka open.
Wala pa rin packet. Yun lang, wala pa rin pasok.
Wala talagang
Yun
pasok.
lang.
Dito nakakatulong yung walang shot clock kasi walang pressure dito. sa mga players. They both opted not to use the shot clock here for this particular event. Knowing that each other, hindi naman sila talagang ganun kabagal sa laro.
But it does help when there's no shot clock. Pwede mong isipin lahat ng possibilities na mangyayari. I favor no shot clock. Kasi gusto ko rin talaga na pe-perfect ko yung safety pagka ako naglalaro.
Well, tiyak, gitgitan pa rin yung laban nitong dalawang ito. Now just manages the 10 and yan na naman tayo. It has been nip and tuck all throughout this match. Tingnan mo, parang hindi naman nag-iiba yung pressure na nilalagay niya doon sa, sa kanya pagka-rack.
Yes, consistent naman.
Hindi lang sila makahanap ng consistency sa kanilang
Consistent
break mismo.
Yung break is very consistent. Consistently not making balls. Normally 3 reel yan eh, 2 and 3. Tanungin ko si Biado.
It stays up. He was already looking at the 2, expecting that 1 to drop, but it doesn't drop. Babalik na naman yung table dito kay Biado.
Wow, barely breaking the balls. That was a very good effort for Carlo, kaya lang lumusot yung cue ball dun sa 6 and 3.
Natawa na silang dalawa. Nagkwentuhan pa sila ng konti bago bumalik si Corteza sa table.
Calling the 3 ball on the far corner.
And it's very likely na lalamang na ng dalawa ngayon si Biado. Well, Biad is going to lead by 2 once again. He opened up a 4-1 advantage early on in this match. Nakahabol itong si Corteza. Lumamang pa si Corteza. At ngayon, dalawa lang naman ang kalamangan dito ni Carlo Biado.
If I were to summarize this game as of this point, Carlo is playing a bit better than Livan, but both of them are not getting anything from their breaks.
Actually, pwede mo idagdag na talagang swerte nga si Livan to only be down by 2 here. One's gonna drop, possibly the 3. He does as well. But no direct pocket for that 2, which is the object ball right now. Not a good spread of the balls. They're all here on this side of the table.
Oh, unfortunately, no balls hit the reel.
Hindi tumama sa reel. Kala ko abot yun eh.
Oh. Stopped at the last second.
That'll have to go down as an error. The very first here for Biado. He could have actually hit that a little bit stronger. Kahit tumama naman sa rail, it would have come off. And still would have been behind that 10.
Right. You know, Sir Anthony, long races, it really takes toll on players whenever they start to get frustrated about how the rack is going, how they're playing. It's a good shot. If Carlo doesn't hit this 5, ano na to, parang 5-10 combination na to.
Well, he's calling it. Pag natamaan niya yung 5, malaking posibilidad na pumasok din yung 10. At worst, kung pwede niya sirain na lang yung pwesto. Para hindi nga madali yung kombinasyon na gagawin ni Corteza. Yun na nga yung nangyari. Pero, it opens up the table now for Livan. Yan a 2-day competition, race to 40. Importante lang naman dito is huwag ka lang mapapadihado ng napakalaki na masyadong
Mahirap
mahirap
habulin.
yung gagawin mo sa susunod na araw. But if you stay within 1-2 racks at the level of these two players, kayang-kaya naman na makahabol. And now he's gonna draw to within 1. 15-14.
You know what?
Lamang ng isa, si Biado.
You know what's interesting here, Sir Anthony, is how tomorrow will turn out. So pag dikit ang score dito, doon tayo magkakahigpitan with the last 20 racks, I guess. Pagka race to 10 na, kunwari, tumabala yan, 30 all. Doon lalabas yung yung diin nila. Maybe you might expect them start to inspecting the rack.
Kanina, tinitignan talaga ng bahagya. Pagkatapos nun tira na kaagad. Two's gonna drop there on the side. He's got a clear shot at that one.
Still not an easy break and run out kasi yung 4, the 4 ball doesn't have too many obvious pockets to be made in.
Well, you're gonna have to say he butchered that shot. That's gonna have to go down as another mistake for Corteza. So he's got 6 errors.
Not
That's just one for Biado.
I'm not exactly sure what he planned there for the one, if he was just making it or playing the bank. Masyado malakas eh.
Well, either way, he wasn't close on either of those options.
Malas. Story for Carlo Biado tonight is
And that is, I think, really what has kept ito si Corteza much, much closer. He could be down by a whole lot. He should be down by at least 4 racks. Hindi lang siya pinagpapala rito. And that has kept Vann much closer in this contest. Going airborne. Not gonna drop. Ito, pagkakataon na naman ni Vann balik sa table.
you know,
Despite that big blunder.
dun sa mga US pro matches with the ratings, with AccuStats, I think they don't include the turnover ratio. I mean, how many times a player's turns occur? Kasama yun sa binibilang din dapat eh. High turnover.
Kung tutusin mo, tama.
Dapat
Kasi
kasama din yan.
pinagbibigyan mo yung kalaban mo ng mas maraming opportunities eh.
Kumbaga,
Dapat kung tutusin mo, kung magra-run out ka, dapat tapusin mo na yung rack, ibabalik mo pa sa kalaban.
totoo. In basketball, meron yan. Binibilang turnover eh. Kasi
Hindi lang yung turnovers, pero yung binibilangan lang yung points of turnovers. Kasi
points of turnovers,
critical
yes.
din yun
Medyo advanced metric na yan pag ganun. If the opponent capitalizes on
exactly.
the turnover of, yun nga, ng kalaban niya.
Which in this case, parang hindi nga magawa-gawa ni Biado dahil medyo minamalas din siya.
Minamalas siya. Oo.
Doon sa pag-layout ng mga bola.
So, para bang Vann has more points of turnovers
Parang
ni
ganun eh.
ganun ang lumalabas. Sa billiard lingo, ang tawag doon naabangan.
Ito, 3 bola na lang. This actually is a rack that should not be going to Corteza.
Naabangan ulit.
Giving himself a little bit more difficult of a shot, but at that level, it's not going to be a problem. We are tied at 15 here. And just like what we've seen essentially the entire afternoon, isa na naman dry break. Starting out with a safety here in this rack. Pero mukhang lilitaw yung uno ron.
Mahirap lang to kasi may sapatos. It's a long shot.
Not this, to mention the fact that he's going to have a difficult time queuing over that 9. Opting to go for the simple safety there.
It just goes to show that even with the amount of skill that these pro players have, pag ayaw talaga ng bola at mesa, if it doesn't give the opportunity, talagang hindi sila makaka-run out.
At isipin mo, napakatagal na natin dito. We've done essentially 30 racks already at talaga naghahanap sila ng solusyon pero hindi pa rin nila mahanap talaga
We've
yung tamang paraan.
1 out of 30 breaks ang ano natin, ang break and run out natin. But to be if you count those breaks where it was supposed to be a run out, I think that was around maybe 4. Konti pa rin talaga. Baka mga 4, wala pang 5. 5 na madami na yung 5 na supposedly break run out. Maganda yun. He used a Sputnik. Bale, used overspin in order to get preparation for the 6. Don't see it too often.
Well, obviously, para sa mga pro, talagang they have everything in their bag of tricks. So, pwede naman lang gawin lahat ng, halos lahat ng kailangan gawin, magagawa nila. And that's one of the main reasons why I really like this innovation of what they've done with the cue ball. Na nilagyan nila yung mga dots na yun dahil talaga nakikita mo yung ginagawa talaga ng mga player.
Unlike before.
Dati hindi mo talaga makita
hindi
yung
mo
dala ng bola.
makikita. Tapos, I remember a time when pro players used to hide the kind of spin that they implement on the cue ball by aiming differently and shooting at a different spot of the cue ball.
Ngayon, hindi mo na magagawa yun.
Hindi na magagawa.
Nakikita lang ngayon yung action talaga doon sa bola eh. But actually, it has actually helped as a teaching tool also para doon sa mga bata, sa mga, bagong pumapasok sa sport ito, nakikita nila yan at mas na-appreciate nila yung nagagawa talaga ng mga pro.
Visually, it does help. Para makita nila yung dami nung nalalagay na pectus. The 7 used to be dark brown bago yung mga TV Pro balls, right? They change it to light brown, and for this set of balls, the 7 is light blue. Blue
In
ba
some
yan?
set of balls, gumagamit din sila ng pink 4.
Yes. Dito naman, ube.
That's gonna be a scratch off that foul. Ball in hand na naman. One of the few times na may pumasok na naman na bola sa break. Kaso lang,
Kaso nag-scratch.
sinabayan pa ng cue ball. And with cue ball in hand para sa mga to, mahanap sila ng magandang approach. And it should be lights out.
I think he's struggling with getting good stance.
Just one rack at this point, separating these two masters. And just like that, it's 16-all. Nakita natin, sandali lang hinawakan ni Corteza yung kanyang kalamangan. Nawala na naman.
Parang practice lang yung ginawa ni Carlo Biado ron.
Balik siya halos sa sentro na naman. Tignan natin yung kanyang resulta. Ang bilis nun.
That was the
balls on the break, but also the cue ball.
scratch. That was the first time the side, the 9 ball or the 8 ball went in the side. Nag-scratch pa. I heard Carlo saying, kung kailan may nahulog, nag-scratch pa.
Yun nga yung pakaramdam ng dalawa. Sabi, hindi ba na? Yun din naman nangyari sa akin kanina. Di bawian na tayo rito kung tutusin mo. Pero kitang-kita mo talagang pinapaboran talaga tong araw na to. Si Livan. Minsan kasi talagang kailangan isipin mo yun. You know, when the forces of nature are going against you, you have to be able to really dig down deep. Because it can get frustrating at times. Pero kita naman natin yun. Nagmamadali na si Corteza rito. Sabi niya walang problema rito.
Just trying to focus na lang siguro sila kaysa naman isipin pa nila yung break na ayaw magbigay. Pero it shows na Carlos getting frustrated with the result of the break that he's doing.
As we mentioned, dapat siguro 4 o baka pwede pa nga 5 yung kanyang kalamangan dito. Pero ngayon, lamang pa yung kanyang kalaban.
Dalawa na ba yun? No, it's a 1-point lead.
17-16. He was up 16-15. Napakabilis. Pagkatapos nun, bawi ka agad si Carlo. Tapos, similar result. Ball in hand. After that scratch, at yan na. Lamang na naman. Ito si Corteza. Tignan natin ha. The last 2 breaks from both of these gentlemen. Nagkaroon ng scratch. Tignan natin. Much better control there of the cue ball. Made it go forward that time. Nakita mo after it hit. The 9 is down. Kita naman yung uno.
One good shot and he might just give us our second break and run out of
Just
the
our second. Pero
Ay, hindi pala kita.
sabi niya, wag na muna. That's a lot of distance and there's 2 balls there. That's blocking balls. Still not able to pounce on the opportunities here given to Corteza, but he's still got to be fortunate to be up by 1.
Well, the turnovers are piling up. Parang kahit nag-alternate break format tayo, yun din yung resulta.
Parang gano'n na nga.
Mm.
Pero ngayon, tinan mo, humahabol na ngayon dito sa unforced errors itong si Biado. And that can't happen to him at this particular time dahil lamang na yung kanyang kalaban.
Oh. And
Ooh,
while
just
you
when
were
said that, isa
just
pa.
you were saying tapos na dapat din yan. But I don't know. Sayang. A little too quick, I guess. I think they're both getting frustrated at this point.
Ayan, parang wala nang gustong kumuha nitong rack na to.
Kaya nga eh. Mabanggit ko, others, they do not like the format of alternate break. Pero sinasabi ko naman, kasi kami, we also run tournaments back when there was no pandemic sa Q Plaza. And we always choose alternate breaks on 9 ball. Just to give chance para sa players. Iba kasi dumadayo pa eh. Like, may bisita ka. But with the winner break format, 9 ball, minsan
Mas lalo
kasi,
sa 9 ball.
mas lalo sa 9 ball, oh.
If one player gets on a roll there, baka hindi ka nga makatira.
So, in a way, I understand the alternate break format. It favors those who took the time to visit a place. Kunwari, yung mga international tournaments, lalo na yung World Championship. Imagine if you don't get a chance to shoot.
And I've
Bumiyahe
seen
ka.
that a couple of times. But at the same time, there are two schools of thought. Sasabihin naman ng kabila, pero if you have the winner break format, it also gives a chance to the player na humahabol.
Na humahabol.
Kunyari, sabi niya, nakaratsada yung kalaban ko, pero ngayon, biglang ako naman ang raratsada. Pwede. Pero pag minalas ka in the first part, in an alternate break format, mahihirapan ka na rin bumalik if your opponent gets on a roll early.
Totoo.
So it's really very difficult to say.
Maybe with long races, the winner break format works better. But for professional playing, like say, race 7, race 8.
Yung race to 7, masyado maiksi yun.
Maiksi yun, oo. One could actually run out the whole set.
Correct. At hindi pa manatalo lang siya sa lag. And I've seen that.
So,
There have
yes.
been some instances, the player has lost the lag. Pagkatapos nun, hindi na siya nakatira. Hindi man siya nakaupo doon sa, takatayo doon sa kanya inuupuan. So we got another dry break here.
The only thing really very consistent today is the dry break. Sa akin, if I were playing this long a race, yan ang una kong iisipin na problema ko. It doesn't look na they miss much. But how do they get going kapag ayaw talaga ng break eh? If I were to summarize this game in a stat sheet, more unforced errors from Vann Corteza, a higher pocketing and percentage from Carlo Biado, and a lot of dry breaks, unsuccessful breaks from each of them.
And Van looking good here. Had to do a little bit more work for that one, just to get back into position. Pero lalamang na naman siya. what will the result of this break be? Will it be another dry one? The one thought about it stays up.
The story of today.
Yun na nga yun. Nice shot there to start off this rack. Shot he really need to be able to get to start off this rack para makahanap na naman siya ng tabla. He does trail 18-17 here. Inasahan natin na git-gita ng laban at totoo nga yung nangyari rito. Just one rack separating these two, and it could be tied at 18 apiece in just a bit. And just like that, we are tied at 18. Dalawa na lang ang kailangan itong dalawang player na to para matapos ang day number 1. Remember, this is a race to 40. Race to 20 on day number 1, and we're tied at 18 apiece. This is now a sprint to 2. First one to get to 20 will end day number 1. But at worst, the player that loses here today will just be down by 2. Another dry break, as expected. A much better layout once again, and Levan will try to take advantage to get to the hill for day number 1 at 19-18. na, agad-agad hinahanap ni Corteza yung kombinasyon to get to the hill here for day number 1. It
Yun.
drops and he's up
Drops.
19-18.
Yes. That was a relatively easy combination shot kasi tama yung angulo. Mm.
But he's got to feel very fortunate knowing about the fact na pinag-usapan nga natin na ang dami na niyang pagkakamali sa
Daming
araw
error.
na to. Pero kita naman natin, siya pa rin ang labang.
Going to the end of this day, I think the strategy that they would have to figure out tomorrow is all about this shot, the break, and yet another dry break. So hindi malabong mag-decision sila ngayon.
Ang ganda ng hirit ni Livan, and I think everybody heard that. Sabi nga niya, kahit na niya, siya talaga siya yung nagpapatabla kung tutusin mo. He's racking. There's Troy there on the right. Pero maganda, but this makes for good viewing. And it's brought up the level of play. Obviously, you have to be able to be at the top of your game to be able to stay close.
Yes. But, Sir Anthony, sometimes I also expect at least a string of racks.
But how fitting this for our very first professional event dito sa Sharks na makita natin yung day number 1. We're going to get to 19 all. Tiyak marami mag-aabang para sa ating second day.
I think Carlos bringing out an extension. Over the past several years, extensions have been innovated.
Well, especially for the pros. As we mentioned, talagang they just hate using that bridge. Yung tiririt nga tinawag natin dito. They have less control. And right now, showing extreme control itong si Carlo Biado as he looks to tie things up here at 19. Both these players looking to get to 20, which is the halfway point of our 2-day event. Race to 40 ang laban natin. And it can't get any closer than this. 19 apiece.
After almost 2.5 hours of gameplay, still no distinct advantage.
And really, if you look at momentum for day number 2, you can't say any of these two players have momentum over the other.
Wala. There's one, if I'd bet my money on something, I'd bet on the break being dry.
And you will win 90% of the time here this afternoon. Ito na, our final rack of day number 1.
Kunwari, Sir Anthony, we're doing a bet here. I bet it's Levan who would run this out.
I bet it's gonna be a dry break.
After the dry break, uh,
Tignan natin kung sino na lumalamang. Pero most of the
bebenta
time,
yung uno.
itong si Carlo has had the lead. Pero lately, past the halfway mark, ito na si Levan has taking control but just really by one rack at the most. Ngayon, babalik na naman siya doon sa kanto. He's been in the middle. He went to the middle a couple of times. He started out in the middle to start out this competition. The one's gonna drop. At ngayon, na nakahanap siya ng bola on the break. Look at that cluster in the middle and really no clear shot at the two, and it's a far one at that. What a fitting way to end day number 1. Another challenge.
At least it's consistent with what's been happening for the rest of for the whole day.
One of the few times we've had a ball down on the break.
But I really do favor Levan winning this rack. But with this safe, this is an easy hit kasi malapit yung dos sa banda. Tsaka walang ubos dito.
Question is, does that 3 pass? He got it to drop on problema. Another tough task here, and he'll have to play safe. Using that army of balls. Well, we started out rack number 1 with safety play by these two players. Why not end our final rack for day number 1 with more safety play? He wants it to run a little bit more. It's not going to. That's going to show.
Parang ano to, Sir Anthony, ang hirap manalo.
Talagang pigang-piga
Pigang-piga.
silang dalawa sa araw
Isang
na to.
kahig, isang toka.
Well, the viewers, I'm sure, would want nothing less. This makes for great viewing. And it sets up great day number 2. Tawa pa rin si Levan, sabi niya. No easy out here.
There's no clear run out at this point. Hindi ko makita yung value ng tira sa 4. Only for
Exactly,
safety.
I think what Levan's saying. So right now, you still would want to be in his position though, because you're still calling the shots, so to speak. You're still in the driver's seat. So
Well, I know this is not the end of the match yet, so at most you get a 1-point lead.
but you know, sometimes in a match this close, that one rack just might be the difference between winning and losing, and it looks like
Looks to go. You know, but it's true. With that one rack, it might be the difference.
hindi mo masabi. Baka yun
Mm.
talaga yung kung bukas magtapos tayo sa 14-39, di kung sino man ang nanalo nitong rack na to
Malaking bagay.
malaking bagay talaga. At yun ang nakapagbigay sa kanya ng panalo.
Kung paano yung break, tingin ko malaking bagay itong 1 na to.
Well, again, hindi rin natin masabi. Baka mag-iba naman yung kondisyon ng table bukas. At hindi naman mag-iiba yung kondisyon dito sa loob ng Shark. So, you know, if everything remains constant, tapos, hindi rin mag-iba yung racking ni referee Troy. Tignan natin. Maganda ang kinalalabasan natin bukas. This is where you have the advantage of having no shot clock once again. Talaga napag-aaralan mo lahat ng
Napag-aaralan.
options mo. Eh.
Ganda. Well thought of. Talaga may pasok doon yung 5 with a little throw.
At ito na, makapagbibigay sa kanya nitong kalamangan as he heads into day number 2. On the other hand, para kay Carlo, at least isipin lang niya, one rack lang naman.
One
yan.
rack lang. It could have been worse. It reminds me of a basketball game. Pag na-shoot, bola ng kalaban. Bawian lang. Oh, that was strong. Malakas yun.
And he knew it the moment he hit it. Ngayon, konting trabaho pa.
Gusto ko sabihin adrenaline kaya lang hindi pa to final eh.
Well, actually, it's the final for day number 1.
For day number 1.
Pero siguro, kailangan isipin lang ni Carlo talaga na sana bukas, hindi masyadong swertein itong si Vann because he's had a lot of mistakes here today but he has not had to pay for it. In fact, he's going to be taking a one rack advantage going into the second day. But if you look at the numbers, dapat lamang si Carlo sa araw na to.
I think just if I were to shoot this, not to judge how he's gonna just make the 9 and take the long shot on the 10. Wala nang iba dito eh.
That's gonna stay up.
Stay up. And
wow. Kanina pa natin pinag-usapan na he's gonna go into the second day with a one rack advantage and it looks like it's not gonna be Corteza. It's going to be Biado.
it's evident pagod na rin sila. Shouldn't be a problem.
I know, but again, it's a little bit more difficult than he would have wanted.
Nahalata talaga na they're struggling and it consumes a lot of mental energy.
He takes care of business there, and after day number 1, Biado takes a 20-19 advantage as we head on to day number 2. Makita-kita po tayo bukas dahil syempre malalaman na natin kung sino magwawagi dito sa Sharks 10-ball showdown.
Sir Anthony, magpapasalamat ako for having me here.
Pleasure is all mine, pare.
Next time ulit o bukas ulit. Nandito.
Bukas makikita-kita tayo, sigurado yun. At makikita natin kung yung mga kondisyon ng table pareho lang.